One of the most important muscles to stretch in the body is the hip flexor. So we spend all day sitting, and these muscles that connect our low back to our thighs shorten because of this angle right here. A very simple way, could be done in front of the television on the floor at home, is to start in this kneeling posture. Some people are very tight in this position. The muscles around the thighs are tight. So just learning to sit comfortably back on your heels is the first step. Stretches out the quadricep muscle, which is on top of the thigh. The next step, I'm going to move out of this position. I'm going to step forward. I tighten my buttocks. I tighten the front of my thighs. I step forward with one leg, and I keep a very narrow path here, a very narrow footprint. I don't go real wide out here. I keep it fairly narrow. I lean forward, and I endeavor to push my hips forward of my shoulders. That stretches the front of the thigh. You don't want to hold this one a long time and really overstretch the hip flexor. Pulse into it for a few seconds and move out. Pulse in, move out. Then you're going to sit back and stretch out the quads again. So the quad is one of the muscles running over the knee. It also runs up into the hip. So if this is stretched, it'll help your hip flexor a bit. It takes away some of the tension. You move up, you stretch out, and lean into it. The next phase of this would be lifting this back foot, putting more of a stretch on the front of the thigh and the front of the hip. So I raise my heel. This is commonly done in Thailand as part of the stretching routine for the Thai boxers. They stretch here. Since they do a lot of kicking and kneeing, these muscles get tight. They stretch it and they lean forward. And then you come back and do both legs evenly to the kneeling posture, stretching the front of the ankles, you're stretching the shins, stretching the quadriceps. Now, the muscles are covered by fascia, all the muscles. It's like a sock over the muscles. This gets tight. It gets tight with age. It gets tight with bad posture. If we want to emphasize it, it runs in long slings throughout the body. So it runs down my arm, front of my body to my thigh. If I really want to emphasize that stretch, I grab a light weight like a kettlebell. Nothing heavy. Lightweight will stretch it. Heavy weight will make you stabilize too much and you'll get tight. You go through the same motion coming up, tightening the buttocks, leaning forward. You can hold it here, but you can hold the weight overhead and stretch that hip flexor out and move into it. Now you feel stretching all the way down your arm, the back of your arm, your tricep, your lats, your chest, pectoral muscles, your abdominal wall, right down to the hip flexor. You keep those shoulders back beyond the hips. Come back, lower the weight carefully, sit back, a little pressure on the shins in front of the ankles which get tight, and repeat with the other side. And that should really stretch out those hip flexors and eliminate a lot of bad back and posture issues.